The NBA is a league of constant innovation and strategic evolution. Coaches and players are always looking for the next big thing, the latest trend that will give them an edge over their opponents. But what if the key to success wasn't a flashy new tactic or a complicated set of plays, but a simple, basic maneuver that has been around for decades? In this video, we're going to explore a play that is tearing NBA defenses apart and leaving some of the league's best players scratching their heads. It's a move so simple that you might be surprised it's causing such a stir. But make no mistake, this is a game changer. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn about the simple play that's turning the NBA on its head. The Sacramento Kings attack is based on a very straightforward yet practically unstoppable move. They utilize Sabonis as an attacking hub pretty well. To truly make the most of the potential this offense has, they employ the threat of their shooters, the quickness of Deer and Fox, and all of the cutting that they have is on this squad. The Sacramento Kings have the second best defense in the NBA, and since the 2023's league debut, they have led the league in scoring. Specifically, I'm referring to the dribble handoffs they run through Domantas Sabonis when I claim that their offense is centered on a single play. Dribble handoffs by themselves don't have to be exceptional. Dribble handoffs are used by a huge number of teams with varied degrees of effectiveness. The execution is really what separates the teams who are excellent at it from the ones that, well, are horrible at it. The staff makes up a significant portion of the puzzle. Who in your team has the skills to carry this out successfully and make it function in the first place? To get the most out of it, you need a large guy who is quite talented. Teams like Denver and Sacramento have Jokic and Sabonis, respectively. These big players are quite talented, and they can start these handoffs very well, create very nice screens, and make the plays. It also needs proficient shooters. The ability of a skilled shooter to receive the handoff and execute the shot right away serves as the fulcrum of an effective handoff. No matter how much you run, the defender will simply be able to drop back and watch you miss a three, or they can be more ready for you when you drive, because you won't be able to hit the shot in the first place if you don't have shooting threats on your roster to keep defenses honest. While there isn't a perfect link between efficient handoff possessions and strong three-point shooting, it's still fascinating to look at this and see what we can learn from it. It's no accident that some of the league's top three-point shooting teams are also among the best at scoring off handoffs. The Hornets and the Nuggets are a few exceptions. The Hornets are poor at hitting three-pointers, but they are incredibly good at scoring off handoffs. While the Nuggets are excellent three-point shooters, they don't score a lot of points per possession when receiving handoffs. Boston, Philadelphia, Golden State, and Brooklyn all have three-point shooting percentages in the top 10. But they still fall short of Sacramento in terms of handoff points per possession. And the reason for this is that in addition to making accurate three-point shots, handoffs also call for effective cutting, and Sacramento is the league leader in scoring off-cuts. I want to explore what makes Sacramento's handoff so deadly in this video, going into a little bit more depth on how their squad was built around Sabonis and Deer and Fox. Let's quickly review the benefits of dribble handoffs and the reasons they work in the first place. One benefit of a dribble handoff is that it speeds up the pick and roll action somewhat. The opposition is already getting ready to protect it when you enter a pick and roll, so the center must step up and establish the screen. They already have a strategy in place for how they're going to defend the pick and roll, and it's much harder to avoid giving away all of your cards in advance. Yet during a dribble handoff, a guard typically arrives to receive the ball before a center arrives to lay a screen. The defensive staff is forced to make judgments more quickly as a result of how quickly a dribble handoff develops, and they have much less time to prepare. With Fox, who is perhaps the NBA's quickest player, and Kevin Huerter, one of the league's finest movement shooters with the most irritating off-ball players, this situation is made 10 times worse. Well, so let's begin by just examining what a typical DHO looks like. Keegan Murray is going to be signaled to come up and collect the ball by Sabonis, who will then screen for Murray right away, giving Murray an open look from 3. It's just really basic stuff, it's not that difficult, but when you include everything else Sacramento does, it becomes harder to defend against them and gives them a ton of alternatives to choose from when they're running DHOs. Will thus put your ability to be a little more inventive with your DHOs on show. You can utilize it to enter pick and rolls, which is what occurs here, as opposed to simply having a man emerge through a screen and take a shot. Since the defender is hedging against the handoff, Sabonis quickly launches into a pick and roll, which causes Aldama to close in on Sabonis in the paint, while also forcing the rest of the defense to close down quite closely. Now Keegan Murray will be left with a huge gap up top as a result, and it all began with a single DHO. It's not necessary to merely take a catch and shoot shot right away. It need not just enter a drive to the basket, it can be used as a springboard for subsequent moves, and since you're forcing the opposition to consider so many things at once, it consistently creates open looks. Let's now discuss how Deer and Fox fits into the overall picture. Few people are aware of Fox's exceptional mid-range shooting skills. On 9.5 tries a game this year, he has a 51% mid-range shooting percentage according to thecleaningglass.com. On that volume, only Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic are hitting at least 51% of their mid-range shots. I believe that people sometimes focus too much on Fox's superior finishing skills, which is understandable given the fact that he is a skilled finisher, but his mid-range game doesn't receive enough attention, which has significant ramifications. The DHO component of their attack is essential overall. De'Aaron Fox can quickly transition into a mid-range pull-up when opponents expect a drive off a handoff, while they are still positioned back in the paint preparing to block a shot at the rim. This also fails to take into consideration the fact that when Sabonis begins the handoff, defenses must focus on stopping him on the roll, giving Fox a ton of room to either shoot from mid-range or float. It's especially difficult to stop when they enter a DHO because Fox may fool the opposition into thinking he's going up the middle of the court by rejecting the screen and driving to the basket. The mere threat of the handoff is enough to startle the defense, and it might seem as if they're going to engage in a dribble handoff before cutting to the hoop and leaving the opponent far behind. To get to the person they want to be open, they manage the defense by dragging it in the direction they want to go. The Kings are aware of what to do when defenders are attracted to Sabonis when he posts up because of his passing abilities and the attention he deserves on the inside. They just need to locate the opening that was created when Sabonis received the ball in the high post and the defenders zeroed in on him. The fact that this offense is highly playoff resistant is perhaps its strongest quality. They score 103.5 points per 100 possessions, which ranks them second in the NBA for the half-court offense. They are one of only 9 teams in the league with an offensive rating of above 100 in the half-court. They will undoubtedly have to spend more and more on their half-court offense, which has already proved to be extremely effective at scoring points as the game slows down in the semi-finals. They shouldn't have any trouble qualifying for the playoffs given that they are currently competing for the top slot in the Western Conference. It will be intriguing to watch how their offense performs in the playoffs, and I believe all the indications are that it will do so very, very well. I hope you enjoyed the analysis and learned something new about how offenses are able to exploit certain defensive schemes. If you have any thoughts or comments on this topic, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And if you want to see more breakdowns of basketball strategies and tactics, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. See you soon in our next. Until then, peace.